Elsewhere, some of the other news I want to get your thoughts on, lads, as well. Hearts, there's reports obviously in Edinburgh that they're looking to make significant signings this season. I think Hearts will, I mean, you listen to the words of the manager and he clearly feels as that 5-year plan is to somehow close the gap between themselves and Rangers and Celtic, and I think it's a tall order. I don't think it's a tall order if James Anderson starts to open the purse strings, but certainly it's a big call from Robbie Neilson, and it's the words of the manager that we're listening to.
I think you've got to be ambitious. I think you've got to, you shoot for the stars. You've got to go and try and go for it. I think the main thing for them is to try and establish himself as the third force in Scottish football. Obviously, this season they finished third, got to Scottish Cup final, but Hibs done that last season and look where they ended up. So you've got to maintain it. You've got to keep that hunger. You've got to keep your best players. And Hibs unfortunately lost their best player, and I think Hearts are probably losing theirs. Suter. They could lose Sims as well. So recruitment's everything. If you're losing top players, you've got to try and recruit and get equal quality in. And if Hearts can do that, they're going to make a lot of money from the European group stages. They've got a chance to really go and kick on and pull away from Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, and establish himself as the third force, and then you can think about closing the gap in the top two, which is enormous at the minute.
Yeah, one other little point on that, which I think is very interesting, I think it would be a great move. I know Hearts train at the Oriam at the moment, but they're talking about maybe spending 20 million on a training ground. Now that would be financed elsewhere, but if they do that, by the way, you're suddenly getting a situation where I think it's a huge attraction to say to somebody, come and play in Edinburgh. It's a brilliant city. It's a wonderful city to stay in. I loved it. And the surroundings, if they get the right area.
The Oriam is good. It's served its purpose, but I think once you're a football club and you want to have your own base, the privacy of your own training ground, I think this would be a great move for Hearts to actually go and get their own training ground. Obviously the rugby use it and everything else that goes on. SFA use it. So if Hearts can go and build their own cell training, like you say, that could be a game changer, bringing players in as well. So listen, Hearts will want to be the third force in Scottish football, and they were the best team last year in third place. I think they'd need a lot of money to spend if they want to get anywhere close to the offer them.
Yeah, absolutely. But this money that they're going to get in European football is certainly going to help them.
Yeah, it is, and as I said, they've got an opportunity now to really go and pull away. Hibs have been disappointing this season. Aberdeen, that's the teams that you would associate, been going for third place. So there's a real opportunity for Hearts to go and, as I said, cement themselves, because if you can finish third every year, you're going to be guaranteed the conference at least.
Yeah, well, Chief Executive Andrew McKinley is saying, Tam, if we're going to sign players, they're not going to be shirt fillers.
Yeah, that's what Hearts have got to do. You can't go and sign squad players. You've got to try and sign guys that are going to come in and go into the starting 11 or at least compete for a place. And if you can do that, then you drive the standards up all over the club.
Yeah. What about Dundee United? I mean, they'll obviously look to try and, in that top six, maybe try and push Hibs and Aberdeen for the battle for fourth and third with Hearts too. Tony Askar and the boardroom team are looking again at better quality signings for United. They've got their own ambitions.
Yeah, listen, it's easily saying that. It's being able to go and do that and bring the right players in. Dundee United will have a wage structure that they won't be able to compete with Hearts, so they've got to try and pick the right players to bring in. But everybody's always looking to bring in better players, and if they can do that this season, to get fourth place, I think for Tam, for the first season back in the Premier League for Tam to get fourth was an incredible achievement for them, and they need to, like I say, build on that next season. So if they can do that, then it'll be another good season for them. But it's going to be very, very difficult for them to go forward with that.